So, Jessica, I actually know you because you have been so active, so vocal during the past couple of months. I know you've even done some like overnight protests in Montreal, so I was kind of following your journey. But I really want to get to know you more, get to know what is your kind of motivating factor, what's kind of making you do all this great work. So, if you want to tell everybody about yourself, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, so basically, I since September 27th, obviously all of our lives changed.
Hmm.
Uh, we after what happened when the war started, we all kind of went into panic mode, and we went into a mode of, okay, how can we help? How can we participate in helping? So we were lucky enough to be able to join CNAQ, which is a provincial division of ANCC, which is Armenian National Committee.
Hmm.
Um, of Canada. So through them, we've been organizing protests. ANCC does a lot of great work lobbying, doing, work trying to get Artsakh recognized. And since November 10th, after the decision, since we're no longer doing these protests that are outside and all of that, I decided to use my voice and to really be online, trying to keep the message alive, trying to still bring awareness and keep the conversation going, because it's only normal that it dies down a bit since we're no
Hmm.
longer um, in it. But
Hmm.
this is where we need to be working the most, and I think that being online and keeping the message alive is what's gonna actually bring change.
Absolutely. And I think you mentioned I've watched a few of your lives and you do a great job of kind of identifying the fact that it shouldn't die down. There's different action items or even same action items, and what you do a great job of like kind of providing us the resources and the way to do it. And we've learned none of us have been kind of online activists, or none of us have done this, but we're battling so many different things that we're trying to find ways and avenues. And that's why I think it's important, obviously, to use that online platform. And I know you identify yourself as an Armenian activist, like on your Instagram, like you've
Yeah,
dedicated basically your channel for that.
that
Were you, and how did you kind of get to this point? Like, how was your, were you always like this growing up? Where were you born? How was that journey for you with the Armenian community? Did that change throughout time?
So I'm born in Lebanon, in Beirut, Lebanon, and I came to Canada when I was very young. I was less than a year old. However, I'm very attached to my Lebanese culture. Like I visit Lebanon often. I have a lot of family there still. So I have a lot of Lebanese influence in my life. And what that has done has just made me a stronger Armenian, because I don't know if anybody has been to Lebanon or if anybody knows any Lebanese Armenians, but we're extremely passionate when it comes to anything Armenian. And so I went to Armenian school practically my whole life, since kindergarten until I graduate high school. And honestly, I was in such a strong Armenian community. It was beautiful. It instilled in us so much love, so much pride. Just knowing every single Armenian history. Hayot Batmuchun, basically. You build this pride. And also, having my parents, we only were allowed to speak either Armenian or Arabic at home. We were not allowed to speak English or French, so that also helped.
Hmm.
But and then, yeah, I kept my pride. I was never this involved, but when we saw that there was a need for it, when I saw that we went into panic mode and that our existence as a whole is at risk, then um, I dedicate myself to this cause right now. And even if it's right now, it's just online. I dedicate my cause to this right now.
And yeah, I completely relate with you. I was born and raised in Syria, Aleppo, and it's like very similar where there's a very engaged Armenian community there. And to your point, like we're learned that even in school, like I went to an Armenian school, we're only allowed to speak Armenian or Arabic, obviously in classes and whatnot. But how was that transition to you coming into Canada and figuring out how to get involved? Because one thing that we like, the piece of the puzzle we don't get to see when leaders like you kind of emerge, and we're seeing you take action, we're seeing you lead these types of action items. We don't know like how you got to that point. So if you can share with us, maybe how did you even know who to reach out to and how to do all these things, it maybe enables others as well, to kind of not feel like on the outside looking in, but feel like, wait, I can do that too, because we need all hands on deck in a sense.
Right. So at first, we didn't reach out to anybody. We waited. September 27 happened. We waited. We were posting. We were all, obviously sick to our stomachs, and we're like, okay, we're waiting for a protest to be organized. We're waiting for something. Like we saw people in LA already start, and we're like, we need to be doing something too, especially when we found out that Canadian technology was being used,
yes.
For the war. And so me and a few of my girlfriends, we just were like, let's just say we're doing a protest. And we just literally wrote that one day online on Instagram Live, on Insta Story. And somebody from ACC reached out to me. They were following me, and they were like, listen, we are doing a protest. How about we merge our forces together and, we do something bigger and you guys could get involved in this? And we were like, yes. We did the first one. It was successful. Then we were like, okay, we're going to continue. We were random people, not part of a committee, not part of anything, people that like, we didn't even necessarily know each other. We just got together online and we're like, let's organize this. And then we had such a big backing from ANCC, and we joined them finally. We joined ANCC, and we were able to do things on a bigger scale, more professional, different licensing, all of that. And that's what happened. It was just us wanting to be involved. It happened very naturally. But that shouldn't discourage people that want to get involved to reach out to these organizations. So I know everybody must think, like, depending of where you are, that, oh, I'm sure like they're already full. I'm sure they have enough people. They don't need my help. But it's not true. You could still reach out and ask them. And there's always something that you could do. And there's always something you could help with.
Absolutely. I think we always have that, always had. I mean, I'll speak for myself. I'm guilty of having that mentality of like, they don't need me. I'm not going to make a difference. Someone else is already doing it. I'm always on the outside looking in. Like, back in Syria, yes, I was very involved. I was kind of like born into it. So it was very natural. I knew who are the organizers. I knew what are the resources. But when you kind of change your location, but now that's another thing we're learning, that with social media, like you have these access to the platforms. Like we always encourage people, reach out to each other. If you're not sure where to start, put a post, and then trust me, people will come together and like we'll tell you, we'll give you kind of the resources of where to start. And another thing that I've liked about the work that you're doing is that you're changing. And you were saying initially, like, that's not something I used to necessarily be doing all the time, but we've always had to shift. And now one thing we're trying to focus on is to make sure that these are mindsets. These are not trends that we're doing it today, we're not going to do it tomorrow. So you've done a great job of kind of shifting that platform and now kind of identifying yourself as an Armenian activist. What would you say your kind of like purpose is every day you wake up? Like, what is it that you're thinking? What's happening?
Every day I wake up thinking how I could bring awareness. Every day I wake up thinking how I could reach out to more people and how I could keep the conversation going. Like, every day is different. Like, we still are, I'm also part of the media committee for ANCC, along with like wonderful people. And there's other things that we have in works that you might not see on, online, reaching out to journalists, reaching out to different, outlets, newspaper outlets, different types of tweet-a-thons that we're going to be organizing. There's just so many things to do. That not necessarily is always shared on Instagram. But what you can do on your platform on Instagram is raise awareness. And yes, my platform has completely shifted. Like if you scroll down, you would just see like a girl that was like really obsessed with posting her pictures and looking all cute and getting likes and comments. And now I might post something that like half my followers don't understand because it's Armenian and get like 100 likes, whereas before I would be super embarrassed by that. Like I only got like this many likes, I have to delete this.
Oh,
Whereas
I
now,
totally.
I don't care anymore. Like that's not
Mhm.
my purpose anymore. And my purpose is just to, you know, number one, help our cause, help Armenia, and number two, make people laugh during this difficult times.
Mhm.
Sometimes I'm ridiculous. You'll see my platform goes from a serious conversation to a ridiculous meme. But
I
that's
love your memes.
yeah, but that's who I am too. You know, I could be very serious and I could be just like a goofball.
I love it. And I love when you say, first of all, I really appreciate your vulnerability and like mentioning that because not a lot of people talk about how they use their social platforms. But I'm exactly like you. I'm like, you know what? I used to, what I wanted to like show everybody where I'm traveling and all the things. And I'm not like, honestly, nobody cares. Like at this point, I just want to use it. Like I have the platform. I feel responsible to use it for something meaningful. I remember I tweeted back like maybe, I don't know, like 30 days ago or so. I was like, who cares about how my social platform looks like anymore? Like, who cares if the colors are coordinated and you know if that like let's put meaningful things out there that if it empowers one person or if it plants a seed in someone's mind about something, then I've my day is complete. You know, like I feel like I've done something versus like if it looks pretty. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
so
I mean, our priorities have changed, and it's for
absolutely.
the better. And you could still and that is also not to judge people that their priorities haven't changed. Like if you're an
Yeah.
Armenian and you still want to keep your social media, your life the way it is, and you have your own ways of contributing to our cause, that's fine too. It's not for everybody. It
Mhm.
comes with a lot of great things, but it also comes with a lot of criticism. You have to be mentally strong to deal with using your platform for Armenian cause, because you get you might get hate from people, you might get hate from your own people.
Mhm.
And so if it's not for you, if you're not mentally strong enough to take that on, don't, because
Mhm.
your mental health is more important, and you being sane and being a functioning successful Armenian is more important than posting something that you might get backlash for and you might not feel good about after. So
Yeah.
don't shame.
That's a great segue, actually. Another thing that I really admire about you is your emotional